Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super important in the world of medical AI. We're looking at a brand new set of rules designed to make sure the artificial intelligence that reads your medical scans is safer, more reliable, and honestly, just more trustworthy for all of us.
All right, so let's just get right to the heart of it, right? The big question is, as AI gets more and more involved in our healthcare, reading our X-rays, our CT scans, or MRIs, how do we actually know we can trust it? How can your doctor be confident in what it's saying? Well, to get that answer, we've got to look at the problem researchers were facing. For a long time, the whole field was, well, it was kind of like the Wild West when it came to reporting on AI studies. There just wasn't one single consistent way to share results.
And this wasn't just a matter of being disorganized. This had some really serious consequences. When every team does things their own way, it just creates chaos. It makes it almost impossible for other scientists to check the results, to compare different AI models, or even build on what came before. That slows down progress, and this is the big one. It really starts to chip away at the trust that doctors and patients need to have in these tools.
And look, this isn't just some hypothetical idea. When they actually went back and reviewed a bunch of published studies, they found this exact problem. Even with some early basic guidelines out there, nobody was really following them consistently. It was all over the map. And that was all the proof they needed, that something much stronger, much more formal, had to be put in place.
Okay, so faced with all this chaos, the scientific community decided enough is enough. We need to fix this. And they didn't want to just put a bandage on the problem. They wanted to build a whole new foundation by getting a global team of experts together to write some clear, solid rules.
And when I say they decided to act, I mean they went big. They put together a panel of 72 experts from all around the world to tackle this thing head-on. This was a major international effort.
And just look at who was on this panel. This wasn't just a bunch of AI geeks in a room making rules for themselves. Nope. They brought in the doctors who actually use these tools, the AI scientists who build them, the editors of journals who decide what research gets published, and the statisticians who make sure all the numbers add up. It was a true dream team, making sure these new rules would actually work in the real world. Now, to make sure this wasn't just a few loud voices dominating the conversation, they used this really cool formal method called the Delphi process. Basically, it involves multiple rounds of anonymous surveys and feedback. It lets all the experts weigh in, debate points, and slowly refine every single item on the checklist until pretty much everyone is in strong agreement. It's a way to make sure the final result is a true consensus.
So, after all that work, what did this dream team of experts come up with? Well, they created the Claim 2024 Update, a comprehensive solution designed to fix this reporting problem once and for all.
Probably the best way to think about this new checklist is like a building code for AI research. I mean, think about it. You would never trust a skyscraper if it wasn't built to a strict, standard code, right? So why should we treat medical AI any differently? We need that same level of rigor and transparency.
So what is it exactly? Well, officially, the Claim Update is this really detailed checklist. It's basically a guide for researchers writing their papers and for the experts who review them. The whole point is to make sure every single important detail of a study gets reported clearly and completely.
And the goals here, they're pretty straightforward, but man, are they powerful. It's all about making the science clearer, making the results easier to trust, and smoothing the path from a research lab to your doctor's office, making that whole journey much, much safer. It's even a great teaching tool for the next generation of scientists.
Now, this 2024 update wasn't just slapping a new coat of paint on the old guidelines. No way. It introduced some really crucial changes based on how the field has grown and what the community has learned. Let's dig into the big ones.
Okay, first up is a change in language that might seem small, but it's actually a really big deal. They're pushing everyone to stop using the term ground truth.
So why the big fuss over two little words? Well, ground truth makes it sound like we know the absolute 100% perfect answer. But in medicine, that's almost never the case, right? Things are complex. Reference standard is just, well, it's more honest. It acknowledges that what we're comparing the AI to, whether it's a diagnosis from 3 expert doctors or a lab test, is our best possible benchmark, but it might not be perfect itself. It's a more humble and more accurate way of talking about it.
All right, next, the panel took aim at another word, validation. It sounds great, it sounds impressive, but it's super vague and can cause a lot of confusion, especially for doctors who aren't AI experts.
See, the problem is a doctor hears the model was validated and might think, great, it's perfect, it's proven. But that's not really what it means. The new terms are way clearer. Think of it like this. Internal testing is like giving a student a practice test with the exact same questions that are going to be on the final. Sure, they might get an A+, but do they actually learn the material? External testing, on the other hand, that's like giving them a final exam with brand new questions they've never seen before, maybe written by a totally different teacher from another school. That's a real test of how well the AI will perform out in the wild.
They also made a few other really practical tweaks. They added a not applicable option, because, not every single rule applies to every single study. And they added a really important new item that requires researchers to share the nitty-gritty details of how the scans were actually taken, like the settings on the MRI machine, because that stuff can make a huge difference in how well an AI performs.
Okay, so what's the big picture here? Why should you or I care about some checklist for scientists? Well, let's zoom out and look at the real-world impact, because this is where it all comes together.
And this is what's so brilliant about it. Everybody wins. Researchers get a clear roadmap for doing good science. Doctors get the confidence they need to actually use these tools. Scientific journals get to publish higher quality work. And for all of us as patients, it means the AI being used in our care is built on a much safer, much more solid foundation. It really creates this amazing upward spiral of quality and trust.
So in the end, this building code for AI isn't just about cleaning up past messes. It's about paving the way for the future. By making sure the science is solid, transparent, and trustworthy, it lets us all move forward with confidence and really start to unlock the incredible things that AI can do to make medicine better for everyone.